What's going on, world? Brian Wright here, and you're now tuned into the Brian Wright Radio Show, where we offer value in the form of content that'll help you change your life, change your mindset, and become the best version of yourself, no matter what religion, race, creed. All that stuff doesn't matter because we're all just a human race. And my job is to tap into this source and to deliver this message to you. And in return, you receive this message. Maybe you'll get something from it, apply it to your life where you can take it out into the world and you can leave the world a better place than you found it. That is the goal of this channel. So today, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I want to go to sleep, but the video was just calling me. I couldn't help it. It's starting to become me, just sitting here, and I don't have to do much and it doesn't take much effort. Only thing I have to do is sit here and talk. So it's very simple, but it's not easy. And while I'm in here, I'm just going back in time in my own life, right? And in some people's eyes, especially being back home, they see me as successful. And you're on a mountaintop. And it just feels like you can do no wrong in people's eyes. And, you got to be this perfect person. And you just have to do everything the right way when really you're only a human being. So they asked me, how did you go out there and make something of yourself? And honestly, I tell them every time, it was just an experiment. And when it comes to experiments, it is things that have to be done over and over again in order for you to learn. And not only to learn, but to learn what not to do again and get a result. Did you know that Thomas Edison went through 10,000 experiments? Failed experiments. He failed 10,000 times. And here we are. We fail once or twice or 3 times. It's over for us. Picture that. 10,000 experiments. That's some resilience. That's some persistence. But that is the patience that we have to have when it comes to us experimenting with life. Because some experiments, they go good. Some experiments, they go bad. But you have to understand that they both intertwine for you. Things are happening for you, not to you. Never forget that. They're happening for you to take you to the next level. So if you're going through some stuff right now, congratulations. That means the best version of you is coming. Because you know why? Your back is to the wall and you have no choice. You got 2 people, you and whatever your God is. And guess what? God will meet you 50-50. And he ain't going to meet you 100-0. It ain't going to happen. The universe, whatever you believe in, you're going to have to experiment. You're going to have to put in that work. You might experiment and lose money. You might experiment and lose time. You might experiment and find out the people that you around ain't no good. And in order for you to get to the next level, you're going to have to find another crowd. That's all life is an experiment. And once we learn this, and once we become willing to experiment and know that, good or bad, I'm going to learn a lesson from this. Thomas Edison famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. You're not failing. You're just finding out things that don't work. And instead of you being angry at it, you should go, this is the way that I tried to go. And this is the universe telling me that this didn't work. So obviously, there is another way to do this. That's how we need to look at life. It sounds so simple, but so many people don't do it, including myself at times. And I forget. And that's what this is. I was experimenting with some stuff today on YouTube, and I found some stuff out today just because I was experimenting and looking around. I understand that I'm dropping these videos, but if I want these videos to get to people, there has to be a strategy, and you have to experiment with that strategy. Keywords, tags, you have to experiment who your audience is. The age range. You have to experiment with all these things. At least that's what I'm doing. And I'm going, that could help me. Okay, that is a good idea. Oh, this is why you should study when you want to be a part of something. It sounds so simple, but we don't do it. Earl Nightingale once said, we must view with profound respect the infinite capacity of the human mind to resist the inroads of useful knowledge. That means that anything can be looked up today on Google. How can something be done? But we have a bunch of people that don't want to experiment. The first experiment, the light bulb. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times. And that's because people believe in the myth of the one right way to success. People don't think that success is a up and down process. They think it's just a straight line with no bumps, no bruises, no pain, no sweat, no tears. You name one thing you can get in life that's worth having that you ain't got to give your all to and experiment with. And if you really look at it, when people rise to fame or become successful, that's what successful means. This is where I came from. They're successful because of where they started and the journey it took them to get to the top. It don't start at the top. Being successful starts at the bottom, and it's talking about the journey and what everybody overcame to become successful. That's what it's about. And if you really listen to a lot of people's stories, because now that the internet is up and running, you can find out people's background. And when I was watching an interview with Marlon Wayans and the Wayans brother family, comedic geniuses, and it's cool because they're all brothers, and they were talking about their upbringing, and they were talking about how poor they were and how strict their dad was and how funny their mom was and everything they overcame in order to make a name for themselves in the TV industry, because back then in those times it was a little bit harder for people of color, and those guys had to overcome all that stuff in order to get to where they are and become the household name that they are today. And honestly, it was just a bunch of experimenting. They had to rewrite scripts. He was talking about how he would write a movie. His brother Keenan would come to him and be like, nope, I don't like it. You got to scratch it. Oh, I don't like it. Y'all got to have a new script in the next 3 or 4 days. I'm talking them boys earned everything they got. Marlon Wayans wanted y'all to know that. Put some respect on his name, because he did his movies and he earned everything he got, not just from his brother. So shout out to Marlon Wayans. But they experimented and they learned what worked. And when you learn what worked, you can do that, and it's already working. You can just make adjustments. That's all you need to do, is just make adjustments at that point. But in the beginning, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of failed experiments. I'm not going to lie to you. And you better brace yourself. Put your seatbelt on, because it's going to be bumpy, and you're going to go into uncharted waters, and it's going to test your faith. And it's going to ask you, do you really want this? After you put it together, the puzzle ain't even right. You have to break it all down again and start over piece by piece. But if you're willing to do that, you will reach the light at the end of the tunnel, because nothing can stop anyone who's relentless, no matter success or failure, not even life itself. It's not built that way. So let me ask you a question. Are you built that way? If so, be relentless. I'll close with this. Success isn't a destination. It's an ongoing experiment. Every failure, every adjustment, and every lesson learned brings you closer to your goals. Keep testing, keep evolving, and trust that with each step, you're going in the right direction. Have faith in yourself and keep experimenting until you find the light bulb. Thank y'all for listening. This is the Brian Wright Show. Gone.